Hey everybody, Drew from VCD Tinkerbench. Just wanted to cover the panel, the access panel, and the assembly on how to do it, the overview theory of it. As you can see, this is different from the one that was actually shipped out. This is a prototype one, the one that was built to test everything. So as you can see, there are some subtle differences, like the back panel is actually acrylic, but the ones that were shipped out, the three frame and back panel, sorry, the two and the back panel are MDF wood, and the silver bezel and the black panel in the front is what you guys would have received with the silver accent pieces, the color lenses, 4 screws, 4 nuts, and then the electronics. So let me dig into this so I can take it apart, show you how this is going to be built. Now the screws are loosely hand tightened. So they come off fairly easily, unless you really want to secure the panel. What you would need is a hex, like an Allen wrench, for example, to help you tighten this by hand. Sorry, to help you tighten it, but you can tighten it by hand with no issues. Now, some people are using this in their Gonk droid. Some people are using this in some sort of prop built as an actual access panel for a wall, right? A Death Star wall or Star Destroyer wall. So go ahead, take this apart. Now, this is not going to come apart right now because I do have this held together by the LED tape, as you can see there. So what you'll do is the layers, how it's going to work is you'll put the black layer of acrylic, then the silver bezel, the 2 hollow pieces, and then the back cover. So that completes the whole panel. The electronics, as you can see here, it's fairly simple. Simple soldering is required, as you can see there. You have your JST connector soldered to the LED tape, and then the 2 LEDs, the white and then the blinking red. Now the LED tape goes all the way around, it loops back up, so this way it allows light to get to this lens here and pretty much all around. I mean, if you look at it, let me put the front on, you can see how this section here gets the 3 on the side, the 3 boxes. This will get these 2. This gets the red vent on the bottom, loops back up and gets this octagon there. So one of the things you're going to notice are the pieces are clear. What you have to do, the lens pieces, is you have to sand them down with fine grit sandpaper. I used 200 grit for it and just kept sanding it. I did have to sand, as you can see, I did have to sand after it was put in just a tad bit more, but both the front and back of this were sanded, as you can see there. Once you have them nicely sanded down to where they look a little more opaque. Let me just show you really quick an example. Once they look a little bit more opaque where you can't really see much detail through them, then you're good to go. That's bright LEDs. So the next step would be to grab the silver pieces that go on the front. If you look at the acrylic actually has etched into it exactly where these pieces would be glued into place. So it's just a matter of gluing them where they're supposed to go and let it set. Once it's dry, turn it over and put in the lenses. Now, if the lens fits too loose, that's not a problem. What you can do is you can always add glue around the edge of the lens before popping it in. Add the super glue, pop it in, pop it in, pop it in, let it dry, and you're good to go. So that would be the assembly of the front panel. We covered the assembly of the whole housing. We covered the assembly of the LEDs. Now, something I did notice is this single white LED is a little bright and kind of blinding. It's not a bad thing, but what you could do is you could just grab a Sharpie and kind of dull it a little bit like I did there. Oh, before I forget, the USB. What you need to do is when you go to solder it, as you can see here, when you have it facing you, the positive is going to be over as far right, and the negative is going to be far left. The two middle are data pins. They do not need anything to be soldered to them, so do not solder them. And then if you look at the housing actually has, yeah, there you go, strain relief there, and that's where the holes in the bottom of the connector go into. Put the wires in the middle. Now what you could do to protect this is you could put dabs of glue, of super glue around the edges of where these two pieces meet, and then pressure fit them together. And now you have your power. Now what's really cool is the way that I set this up is you could either power it using the USB, or if you have purchased any of the upgraded premium light kits that we offer in our shops, it should plug into this with no problems. We can also offer extensions or conversions if need be, if you want to power this from the premium light system. If you want to just plug in a LiPo battery, you can get a LiPo battery online. Most common place that people get LiPo batteries are Adafruit.com. So that would definitely fit into here and power this up with no issues. So let me just reassemble this once again. You can glue the two LEDs up at the top into place. It's up to you. This will stop them from bumping out if you do go over any bumps. I didn't glue it for the reason that this is the prototype, but what you have to do is you have to pop them in. Order doesn't matter. You could put white, red, red, white. Doesn't matter. It's really up to you. It's your panel. Talking about that, I did include some extra lenses. So if you wanted to change some of the colors, you have some extra white lenses. Once again, you just have to sand it down so that it looks opaque. There you go. That is how you assemble your access panel. You can pretend these are lenses, switches, buttons, you name it. Access port for droids. It was a lot of fun to design this little panel. I hope to design some more panels in the future. I may do another run of this one in particular, but the future ones, I am looking to make it a lot more dynamic. Maybe these will be flashing, or these would be flashing. this would be pulsating. I don't know. I'd love to hear some feedback. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow us on social media. Here on YouTube, VCD Tinkerbench, on social media, Imperial Tech Shop, and Vita Custom Designs on Instagram and Facebook. And message us, let us know what you think.